we're back on this video. We're gonna go into some detail on the gun body, the spool valve, the trigger, and the handle. Show you some details that are important to know. You know, it's not features that you need to look at or maintain every day compared to some of the other items we talked about, but I still think it's important that we break the gun apart fully and show you all aspects of the gun so you can maintain it properly in the future. So Chris, why don't you walk through the gun body and breaking that down and what things customers should be looking for.
Sure, Nick. Just for simplicity's sake, we knocked down the cartridge, the back cap, the air piston. We took all that out that we showed on a previous video. So first off, what I'm going to remove our handle strap. This just simply comes off by unvelcroing and pulling through the brackets. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to take off this trigger.
So you need to remove the trigger in order to get to the spool valve?
You do,
okay.
You do. So we'll do that next. But first off, it's just 2 pivot pins, shoulder bolt pivot pins.
And those bolts are the same size for a common nut driver that?
Yep, 5/16. Yep, there's a spring washer on one side. Doesn't matter what side that goes on. And the other side is just the same shoulder bolt. And then that just simply slides off. Next, we'll take off this back air fitting assembly. It just unthreads. The strap bracket will come off with this. Like so. And then there's a spring in here, and we'll just pull that out with a small screwdriver. Right there. And then I like to push this down flush and just be real careful because you're gonna have the O-rings on there that create drag. So just push straight down on that buttoned end at the trigger contacts, real light and easy. You don't want to scratch any of the bores. You can feel it as it goes down. And then that'll just fall out. It's very similar spool design like on our Air Purger PC guns. Same O-ring sizes. You can inspect those for wear. Nicks sometimes you'll see in those, or damage. Next then we'll take off our handle. This is pretty simple. This is just one fastener. It's a socket head cap screw. Unthread that. The bolt most likely will fall out. And then it's on 2 pins in the back and just slides off at a 45-degree angle. Just like that. And then there are 4 face seal O-rings. Again, it's the same O-ring that's on your spool valve. Those are the common O-ring. And that's for all the air logic, for all the air passages. And then also if you're running clear shot, there's a passage for clear shot fluid to flow through. There's also an O-ring in the front. This is important. This can go go missing and you may not notice it. That basically seals the cartridge face. It seals air. It's partially captured in there so it just doesn't fall out, but sometimes if you catch it, it'll fall out and you may not notice, so be aware that there's a face seal O-ring there. And again, now at this point you have access to all the air passages on this gun. Everything's line of sight. You can run a drill in there. Reference your manual for all the drill sizes, for any of the bores. If there is any foam or any material that you get in there that you have to clean out.
So even though we have check valves built into the cartridge, we know real life as a contractor, inevitably something could happen and you need to have access to those passageways and how to properly clean them, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, with a major crossover that can occur.
Okay, so now you have it broken apart. Let's put it back together.
Put it right back together. All right, we'll start with our handle. Again, if you have to replace those O-rings, they're real simple face seal O-rings. Pop them in.
Is it important to make sure those are greased?
You can put a thin layer of grease on there. Not as critical as like a spool O-ring. Just slide it on those pins, and that fastener is lined up. Put that in, snug it down, your handle's on. Next, make sure that this is well greased when you reinstall that.
Just using the standard fusion grease?
Use your standard fusion grease. Yep, that clear grease works really well for that. Pop that in, and then I just use a screwdriver. Push it all the way forward. You'll see that button end protrudes through, then that's when you know it's all the way forward. Like that. Put in the spring There's a recess in there in the back of that spool valve. Again, if you're using the handle, make sure that, or the handle strap, make sure your bracket's on there. Thread the fitting. Like that. Snug that down. There's no O-ring there, it's a metal on metal that does the sealing there. We'll put our trigger back on. Slide that on like so.
So you mentioned it doesn't matter what side the wave washer goes back on when you're
doesn't.
assembling this trigger?
No, it doesn't, Nick.
So one of the comments we've heard quite frequently through field tests is people really like the trigger feel of this gun. Did we make some changes to the way the trigger actuates compared to our standard air purge gun?
Yes, we did, Nick. We shortened the trigger throw on it by roughly 30%. And it gives you a lot easier feel when triggering. Make sure that that's fully seated. Again, it's a shoulder bolt. Make sure that that's free and that the trigger moves freely.
And that's it?
And that's it. If you want to put your strap, you just run those through. Run your Velcro through these tab sections here, those slots, like so.
And so while you're working on the strap, I mean, the strap's designed for a right-hand user or left-hand user, the bottom bracket of your handle
You can either go on that side, yeah, for right hand.
can be threaded through
or
either
left
side.
hand. Yep. And then this is, this just pivots on the back.
Nice.
Pretty simple. Yep.
Okay.
that's-
Well, thanks for showing us that. We'll wrap it up
Pleasure.
on this video and we'll move on to our next video.